This is Piers Morgan Live.
The medical marijuana controversy rages on in America. Should it be legal or not? Let's debate it. Back with us now is Dr. Sanjay Gupta. Also joining us is Howard Samuels, who's a former addict turned founder of the Hills Treatment Center for Drug and Alcohol Rehabilitation. Howard Samuels, we've spoken before about this. You feel very strongly from your own experiences as a personal addict and treating other addicts that it's a real gateway drug, marijuana, and we should not be encouraging it to be legalized.
Well, absolutely. I mean, I think that the doctor has a very good point that for medical purposes, marijuana can be very, very useful. But you have to understand, the vast majority of people that use weed use it to get loaded. They use it to get high. And look, I'm not here to say that it's, worse than alcohol. Of course it's not worse than alcohol. But why in the world would we legalize another drug so our nation's youth have another substance to abuse and medicate their feelings with? And this is, to me, the issue. We don't want to go from one extreme, reefer madness, which we know is a total exaggeration, but we don't want to go to the other extreme where we legalize this drug and endanger so many of our young people.
Okay,
we want to find a healthy balance.
Okay, well, my point to you, Howard Samuels, is this, is that I'm going to make a shocking revelation here. I've tried cannabis when I was a younger lad, and I've also had to have Vicodin when I broke some ribs falling off, embarrassingly, a Segway in Santa Monica. And I can tell you that it was the Vicodin, which I was prescribed by my doctor, which gave me a massively higher high than the cannabis ever did. I couldn't see the logic between making the Vicodin a legally prescribed drug and making cannabis this demonized drug. Explain to me the difference.
Well, I have to agree with you. I mean, I have no disagreement with that. I mean, I don't have an issue with marijuana being used for certain pain things. I mean, of course it's safer than Vicodin. I mean, I've had patients die off Vicodin. I've never had anybody die off marijuana, but I have had people come to me, hundreds of people that I've had to treat that have addiction to marijuana, that have serious emotional side effects as a result of that. So I think the issue here is, being able to decriminalize marijuana without question, but not making it legal.
But let me ask you this then. Let me ask you this then.
Okay, I think that it's safe. Okay, because it's not.
Right. I think you're slightly softening your position though from when I last spoke to you, because unless I'm wrong, the logical extension of your argument is that we should be banning all sorts of prescription drugs, probably alcohol as well, and tobacco. They should all be banned as well as cannabis, because that's the logical way of looking at your argument.
No, I never, and I'm sorry if you misunderstood me, that all these drugs do have a place. The problem is that we don't have a medical restrictions, that these drugs are all too open on the market for abuse. Okay, marijuana needs to be a controlled substance, not legalized where we have commercials and we're sort of, the corporations are talking about which drug to get loaded on, marijuana this, marijuana that. Okay, that's what I'm talking about.
Okay, let me get a Sanjay.
We have to come up with a different concept.
Okay,
other than legalized.
I think
or not.
The doctor, he's sort of saying you're going to see ads for it, making it sound like it's some over-the-counter drug that everyone can buy. Right now, it's listed as the most dangerous substance. It's in the category of most dangerous substances in America.
I think.
I just don't quite understand the moral equivalence that the doctor's making here.
Right. Howard Samuels, it's always good to talk to you. Well, the final word to you, Howard Samuels.
I'm not saying marijuana is more dangerous than cocaine. Of course it's not.
The U.S. government is saying that.
I am saying, though, that marijuana should not be legalized because it is harmful to the emotional state of people have long-term exposure to it. And I've seen that, and anybody in the treatment field is going to tell you the same thing.
But isn't that, Howard Samuels, let me jump in. Isn't that also true, though, of so many other things? I mean, isn't it true of alcohol, tobacco, Vicodin, and everything else, is that you will have a percentage of people You have a
Without
percentage
question.
of people. So,
But the solution.
but here's the point that
without
Sanjay's making:
question,
is there has to be surely
but the
a
solution
consistency.
is not to legalize it.
Right, but
we're
then-
doing the same thing. We're giving more people an opportunity to get loaded. Why do we want to support that?
Okay, last word to you, Sanjay.
The point is that we're trying to help take care of people, and we should not take marijuana off the table as an option here.
Sanjay, got to leave it there. Good to talk to you.
And I totally agree with you. But we shouldn't legalize it so our kids have an option to get loaded on a daily
Samuels,
basis.
you've made your point.
Okay.
You've made your point, sir, very loudly and clearly. It's a debate that will carry on raging because Americans are talking about this up and down the country.